Hello, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, Shipyard Champions. I got the battle set up here. You can see we're in for something spicy. Yeah, let's just read the challenge. It is this week. It's by Moist Tea Gaming. The title is The Experimental Battleship. Your country has built an experimental battleship. Advances in armor, targeting systems, and gunnery has had some major breakthroughs in the last few years and has implemented these systems on a experimental design. Unfortunately, however, during live fire exercises, your grand battleship has found itself in a tricky situation. War has broken out against your country, with a country which has inferior tech, but numerous ships which have been spying on your live exercises and ambushed your battleship in an attempt to give themselves an advantage in the region before pressing deeper into your waters. Command knows nothing of the attack. You are alone. No help is coming. You must survive for the war effort. So I get one 1920s tech battleship. Time is morning. Distance is 17 kilometers. Limitations. Just to make things worse, I am limited to 19 knots top speed. Advice is to bring lots of ammo. I get 1 point for each enemy ship sunk, 10 for surviving. If the enemy disengages and just retreats, I also get a +1 as if I had sunk them. And yeah, the enemy is Japan, 1910 technology, AI built. They get 15 battleships, 5 light cruisers. So, yeah. And also, unfortunately, time has to be morning. I think if I had been able to set this to night, that might have given me an advantage. Being in 1920, I should have access to better tower spotting than the enemy. So, but nope, not an option. It is morning. We start at 17 kilometers away. I am limited to 19 knots top speed. I'm going with Germany because they get a pretty big battleship hull with a +91 resistance. Let's max it out. 19 knots. That's not much. We're gonna increase the beam and draft. That will... let's just max it out. I said max it out. There we go. That will give me some, let's see here, minus 20% gun damage from maxed out beam, minus 15 gun damage for maxed out draft. Veteran crew, spacious quarters. Let's build our ship. I'm playing with the Dreadnought Improvement Project, seeing as I'm fighting AI ships anyway. Let's see, let's go with one of those and another one of those. That's still plenty of range. Now, guns though. Here's the thing. Do I only... yeah. No, only 13s as Mark III. I do not get advanced triple turret, so you can see the accuracy is much worse on the 13. Let's see. Mark II, Mark II, Mark II. I can go all the way up to 18 Mark II. And ammo per barrel seems to be the same, unless I go down to 11. 11s get a little bit more ammo. I do need a lot of ammo because I'm fighting a lot of ships. I think 16s might be the sweet spot. Let's just do some comparisons here with the 16s and the 13s. And I do want some steering, because I do need to turn around and try to get away. I also need to be resistance maxing. 133. Yeah, crop 2 only gives me a plus 2%. Had it been like crop 5 or even modern, I would have gotten much more. Increased on the secondaries. I do plan on going with some casemates here. I do need increased ammo. Do want my shells to be a little bit heavy. Tube powder and TNT2, so I don't explode. Reload, so I can reload. Oof. 13. 11.6. 12.3. It's like bad either way. Okay. Let's go with stereoscopic. And yeah, this gives me better... no? For maxing out the beam, I get a plus 15 slope design. And get a minus 10 for maxing out the draft. So, it still gives me a plus 5 all in all. Plus 112 from the resistance bonus. So, okay. Yeah, the barbette thing is maxed out. I think I just have to deal with not having the greatest flash fire protection. Let's see. Comparisons. If I can make them 13.5 and 16.5 at 17,500. 5.7, 7.3, 4.8, 6.4. So the Mark II 16s are actually more accurate. And we are playing on a new patch now, 1.5.1.6. So the debuff to accuracy from recoil has supposedly been reduced. So the 16s might actually be quite viable. Reload time is kind of poop. But seeing as I get the same amount of ammo, at least it should last me the entire battle. Or as long as my ship lasts. So we're gonna go with 16s. And I do think I will go super duper firing aft. Because the plan is to turn around and kite away. Like, I don't care how much armor I have, my ship will not survive too long getting pelted by 15 enemy battleships. 5.9, 7.5. If I shorten the barrels, 5.9, 7.5. 5.5, 7.1. Okay. 5.9, 7.5. If I go plus 2. 5.9, 7.5 with plus 4. I know I'm overweight. I'm just comparing here. 6.38% at plus 8 barrel length. Because the muzzle velocity is still not very high. So we might have something here. If I make them all the way up to 6.3, 8.4, my deck penetration does suffer though. Yeah, that gives me more deck penetration. 140 armor quality. I'm assuming my enemies will run Krupp 1, perhaps, maybe even Harvey. Let's account for that in the settings. Let's say 120% at best. So now we go. There we go. We got some penetration now for deck penetration. So that is not bad. Let's play with the armor. Make this thing not too heavy. I can reduce the top armor quite safely. I'm not going through that. They should definitely not be going through that. I want superstructure armor though, and quite a lot of it. Can I go 17 on the main belt? Yeah, I can. 17 on the conning tower. So, as for inner belt, here's the thing. At least 90% of the shell's penetrating power is lost before hitting the third layer. That means this value counts as 10 times as much as the raw value. So if I can make the like the third inner layer here 1.4 inches, that should equal 14 inches. There you go, 1.9, 2 inches. That should equal 20 inches. This one, at least 75% has been lost, so that should count as 4 times as much. So 10 inches. And that counts as twice as much, so 6.2. So this one is the most important layer. And the same here. If I can, that now counts as 2 inches. In theory. That counts as 3 inches, but I already have a 3-inch main deck, so it doesn't really give me that much. I'm just going to reduce the inner deck armor, because I don't think plunging fire will be a big threat to this battleship. Now I've got some more displacement to play with. Let's do some comparisons. 7 and 8-inch guns. Excuse me, for the casemates. Reload time 11.4, 12.5. Not that much reload time difference. 1.4 kilometer range difference in favor of the 8-inch. Damage AP 324. 215. So almost 50%, well actually 50% more damage from the 8-inch gun. But they weigh a lot more. Yeah, they weigh more than 50% more. Okay, I'm gonna go with the 7s, just because they're not that heavy. Can I fit one more? Almost. If I reduce their armor a little bit. There we go. Side armor cannot be reduced anymore. Can I lengthen them? Give them a little bit more range. .48 caliber length. .49 caliber length. 12.2 kilometer AP range. It should help to keep me safe from those light cruisers. I'm just gonna spend my remaining yeah, they're not losing too much accuracy yet. I think 50 caliber length is like the sweet spot. So 6.2, 8.7 at 10,000 meters. If I max it out at 15, 6.2, 8.7 at 10,000 meters, but I get more range out of them. I think that's the ticket. Yeah, it reduces rate of fire, but okay. I don't want to have any other secondary guns than that, because that would just lead to crew loss. And I'm gonna take a lot of fire. Potentially I'm gonna take a lot of fire. If I'm lucky, the enemy will be slower than me and have less main gun range. But there's no way of knowing that. What kind of torpedo range can I potentially be looking at here? Just plonk one down. I can go all the way up to 24 inches. 12.2 kilometer torpedo range. I don't think so. They're gonna get shot to pieces before the enemy gets close. And I cannot fit a lot of underwater mounts, so no torpedoes. Instead, I think I will just up the armor a little bit with my remaining displacement. There we go. That should keep my ship safe, at least from some high explosive spam. This is playing with the Dreadnought Improvement Project. So I don't think burning down is going to be too much of a likely outcome, but maybe. Or maybe crew death. Even with spacious quarters. I just hope my secondaries are protected enough. Yeah, 3 on the top, 11.2 on the sides. That should help. Let's see what the AI comes up with. Alright, let's see what my huge battleship can do. The Hildebrand. I'm being outspotted. Probably because I'm really huge. Almost 70,000 tons. For a 1920s dreadnought, that is quite a lot. There we go. The enemy has been spotted. It is morning, so spotting will get better as the battle goes on. Let's take a look at these battleships. Okay, we got wing turrets. They have 3-kilometer torpedoes, 14.1 inch guns, 17.8 kilometer range. Okay, so they are probably Mark 1s. Did they only have 14-inch guns, or is it a mix? They got 8.8 secondaries. Yeah, they don't have anything longer range, do they? No. Okay, so unless they are much faster than I am, outranging them is an option. Don't have that much of a range advantage, but it's something. There we go, we are firing, and I'm not losing all my accuracy from recoil, so that is good. Penetrations. I'm gonna start kiting away now. That will limit my firepower. That was a pretty big salvo. I'm taking my first hits. No, 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 do not start switching targets now. Do not start doing that nonsense. We're gonna kill this one first. I hate it when it does that. Like, yeah, all the aiming bonus we've built up, just right out the window. Here comes the, is that the first of the light cruisers? Are we sinking that battleship now? Not been identified yet. They're not closing in too quickly, so we might have similar speeds. Let's see where that salvo that missed entirely. Is this guy gonna sink, or did they get the flooding under control? Secondaries can open up on that battleship as soon as it's in range. If it does get in range. We've not identified them yet, but at least my ship is somewhat safe. Let's have the A and B turrets open up too. Destroyed one casemate. There we go, another big flooding hit. It's been identified. Kawachi. 0.9 inch main deck. 21.3 knot top speed. Ballistite TNT 1. Mark 1 14 inch guns. Like, they could potentially threaten me. At least the extended belts and such, but all in all, I want to make sure that battleship actually sinks, because that's what I will get points for. Next salvo will take care of it. So I can start switching to the ones closing in. Oh, I guess we need one more. Firing at 22 kilometers. That is pretty close to my max range. Kawachi might actually be sinking. No, she's got the flooding under control. Come on, next salvo. Please get some hits. Not a single hit. Okay, let's take care of the ones following first and then deal with the Kawachi later. Light cruiser is not really coming out to play. And please AP. I need those big knockout hits. In fact, let's turn it this way. I don't want to get too close to the big herd of battleships. Time also counts as a tiebreaker. But if I die without any kills, then that doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna focus on surviving and killing. And I think that's a kill. That is one kill. Shinano. Did I miss the flash firing? I did. Hopefully we can get more flash fires. For a nice engaging thumbnail. Come on, Tulsa. Give my 16.5 inch shells a warm welcome, will you? Ricochets. 7-inch guns are doing some kind of work. Knocking out the main tower. There we go. That's a good volley. And Tulsa is dead. Where did the light cruisers go? Kotetsu. Back to auto. They had how much main deck armor? 105% quality, 0.9 inches. I can pen that with HE, potentially. In fact, let's put that HE to the test. Main belt, partial pen. I want to hit the decks. That's what I want to hit. So we sunk 2 battleships so far. Main deck, partial pens. Back to auto now. The HE wasn't really working. Not well enough. I think at even longer range, it should do more. Okay, they're really hot on my heels now. That was a pretty big salvo on... what's your name? Kotetsu. If they want to close in, can't really do too much about it. I guess if I start hitting the lead ships, their formations should slow down. Because my guns were perfectly capable at like 20,000 meters, and at that range they cannot hit me back. I also think I will I think I will claim the 5 points for the light cruisers, because they seem to run away. Good penetrations also. The enemy guns are not too accurate. So he's turning. So do you. Next one. And I know not going for the knockout kills here is exactly the opposite of what I said I was going to do previously, but I just need them to not follow me this closely. Because eventually their combined weight of fire will cause me some pretty big problems. And I have a designed top speed limited to 90 knots. Go. Yamato. And you never know, I might score a couple of first salvo flashfire hits and just knock out a battleship that way. Because they have, what, Battlestar TNT-1, yeah. They don't have access to tube powder in 1910. There we go. Called it. Yes. That should be our thumbnail. And Yamato keeps exploding. I think she's gonna sink. Yep. Yamato goes down. That's 3 battleships sunk. Light cruisers have not showed up. The RDF is pointing that way. So at least I know which direction they're in. I also have some heavily damaged battleships I can pick off later, if there is a later. As I also have a bit of a flash fire chance. Even with 2 powder 1 TNT 2, putting this many 16.5-inch guns on a super dreadnought, it's a little bit risky, especially with heavy shells and increased ammo. Blocked. Don't block my shots. There we go. And she's also exploding. Next. Nishin is still afloat. She's just not a threat. All her main guns went up. Up to 9.7% crew loss, which is not amazing. .4% crew loss. There we go. Mikaho. Some pretty big hits, but she's still in the fight. Light cruisers have yet to show up. No idea how far away they are. That might be the death blow for Mikaho. Let's switch to Mikasa. Mikaho actually stabilized her flooding. And that is Mikasa dead. So more battleships sunk. I think I'm at 4 kills now, but a lot of heavily damaged ones that we can hunt down later. Yashima. Is that the end of Yashima? Are we gonna give her one more volley? I think she's gonna need one more. Yep. That's the end of her. Suiho, Jujo, Setsu, Nagato. Things are looking a lot more manageable now. Suiho had her tower taken out and one of the turrets. It didn't explode though. There she goes. Ammo detonation. Next up, Setsu. I think this is manageable. We could still get unlucky and explode. But but it seems more manageable now. No big flooding hits. No flash fire. Is that enough for a kill? Oh, I switched prematurely. She's still afloat. But also, I want to turn back towards the injured battleships. Start taking them out. There we go. Pretty big hit. That took out a lot of their ship. No sign of the light cruisers. Not an effective salvo. Let's give it one more, and then maybe try hit the Ryojo. Again, not very effective. Do better, Hildebrand. I believe in you. Is it because we're too close for deck penetrations? There we go. That's the flooding hit I was after. Nagato is sinking. I'm already switching to the Setsu. Ryojo keeps sailing away. If she wants to disengage. I will allow that. That is the end of the Setsu. All her lower compartments are flooding. Also is firing. Getting effective hits on target. I've lost count of the number of battleships I've sunk. There she goes. And flash fires. Just as a bonus as she goes down. Nishin has no ammo. She sinks. Kotetsu. If the light cruisers want to run, I can probably not catch up. I'm guessing they are faster than 19 knots. And if that last battleship wants to run, it is also lost. But I do get points for those too, if that happens. that case, I think when I've sunk these 3 battleships, that should be it, unless there are more battleships hiding in the background here. There we go. Mikaho next. And then Soryu. Yeah, I think I made the right call by switching targets to slow down as many of them as possible and not get overwhelmed, because they would have killed me by crew loss. I'm pretty sure they would. Eventually. Let's get some more big juicy targets. Juicy salvos on target. The targets themselves are not that big and juicy. Only 22,000 tons. So I'm pretty much 3 times as heavy. Even more. There, you're the last one afloat, Soryu, that I can see. Flash fires. Flash fire 2, 3, and sinking. Now, the closest enemy ship is up here. Oh, no. Never mind. Kawachi, I forgot you. I completely forgot about you. You were my first victim. You're slowly limping after the rest of the main force. Completely unaware the fate that befell her sisters. So Kawachi, let's see if we can actually get some HE penetrations on your deck at max range. Because in theory it should be possible. Yeah, partial pen. Let's do one more and then let the Hildebrand switch back to AP. No, there we go. That was a main deck pen with HE. Times 30 game speed. I think that counts as disengaged. I think that counts as disengaged. I am incapable of catching up. Unless those light cruisers happen to be even slower, I wouldn't know. They've never been identified. But we're missing 5 lights and 1 of the battleships that ran away. Just kept sailing. So I will claim those as, let's see what the challenge states. Enemy ships which have retreated will count as a +1 if they have fully disengaged. I think times 30 counts as fully disengaged. Please time your battles. In the result, you score the same as someone else. Time will determine the winner. Okay. So, yeah. 14 battleships sunk, 1 retreated, 5 light cruisers retreated. That's 20 points in total, plus 10 for surviving. 30 points. 0750 remaining. And I will leave it there. So let's see how the other admirals did. Links in the description below. Yeah. Almost too bad they retreated, because I think they would have been easy kills. It's just, yeah, no chance of catching up. Not with a limited top speed. That's it. Goodbye, and take care.